in New York? Were you in her district?
I was.
Oh, okay.
And I did like her, and I did vote for her. So
It's a hot take. That's a spicy take.
What did you like about her?
I mean, I feel like she was really well spoken and, like you said, charismatic. And like, I think I tend to believe everything that she was saying easily. And so I think, with my experience and kind of evolving, I'm more willing to really do some more research and and ask more questions. But she definitely had that quality, or has that quality about her where now I'm like, oh, okay, once I see the other side and I'm able to have conversations with people more. But I think, yeah.
Did you feel the same way when the issue with the Amazon warehouse was going down? She prevented the Amazon warehouse from being built in the district. Do you remember that?
I do kind of remember. Yeah.
And did that color your opinion of her when that happened, or was it something that really?
I don't remember that specifically being something that I was super involved in at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I wonder is because that's the kind of thing that would turn a lot of people off when it's that type of thing, that if it touches their lives, if it's like, I was really hoping for a job or something like that. I was,
Absolutely.
I've been looking for work and et cetera. And the scuttlebutt going around was she's not in her district enough. She's always on the internet and she's always in DC and she's more concerned with being an influencer. So that's why I brought it up. I was wondering if it affected
It wasn't personal to me, but I definitely get that.
Yeah.
I think people would.
Do you still identify as a Democrat?
I do.
All right, we got one, boy.
I do, but I see myself, you were saying like kind of more of like a classic, like old school, modern liberal, a little more like left of center.
Do you see this as like action, like what these Texas Democrats are doing? Do you see this as like something that the Democrats get behind, or do you think?
That's, I think what I was saying is like me personally, I see it as more of like, a bad look.
Okay.
Like it's not something I would rally behind personally. And I don't know. I think with the Democratic Party in general, right now people are asking a lot of questions and
Can you unpack that a little bit? You said to your, progressive or Democrat friends, what are the things that they say to you about the Democrat Party and about like your kind of evolution away from the more progressive side of the Democrats?
Well, I'm definitely getting pushback from people on the left, like the more progressive, like, I'm seeing a difference where it's just getting very extreme, like more woke. And so by being
more woke today, still.
Yeah.
Okay,
See,
sorry.
that's what I was saying yesterday. They viewed as punk rock.
Yeah.
They really do.
But go ahead, please.
Yeah, so, I'm getting a lot of pushback. I'm getting canceled by a lot of people that, I was previously like having, we were working together in the Democratic Party. And over the past several years, since this most recent election, I'm getting canceled for asking questions or not just like subscribing to this sort, the bullet points I just find it super, being called a Nazi and a fascist, like, for being
welcome to the club.
Vandalizing Teslas is a crime, like, and not like just agree. So by not agreeing and asking those questions, I have a lot of people calling me a Nazi and fascist.
Yeah, I've gone through 4 tires because of nails being left around my Tesla in the past month. So. And
I don't agree with that. Like, how are we doing any good by doing? I don't think that's.
I'm sorry, Phil. I thought you were someone else.
Be careful. You don't want to do that stuff.
Yeah, you're on camera.
But I appreciate that. When you said something that you said canceled. When you say canceled, what do you mean? Because the colloquially canceled has meant, lose a job, friends stop talking to you, possibly stop talking to you, and you find out about it because they make a big, long social media post about how you're a terrible person, which has happened to me. I mean, it's been a long time since that stuff has happened to me because I've been fairly open about my opinions for a long, long time. But it was a new thing in 2013, 14, 15. And that was, fairly shocking to me. People that I thought that I'd been friends with, that I'd grown up with, that I had heard say some of the most offensive, terrible jokes. And then they come out and say, oh, he's this terrible person for saying something that is night and day from what the things that I'd heard them say. But what do you mean? No,
that's hard, right? That's hard. It's hard to wrap your head around a lot of that stuff. I think, with a lot of over the past several years, with politics, Facebook, whatever. So some of it is real, like real life family members and friends coming at you and, being nasty and name calling and things. But it's a lot. I mean, I do a lot on Twitter, a lot on X, and the comments are really ugly and really nasty. There's a lot of blockings. There's a lot of I followed you, and just a lot of name calling, a lot of nastiness. Which I'm not behind. It's like, if you disagree with me, let's have a conversation. Tell me why. It's okay to disagree, but you can't. So that's kind of what I mean. Blockings and name calling, nasty comments, just a lot of people who are very vocal about
Welcome
it.
to the internet.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. The Democrats are trying to cancel you, but the conservatives think it's all a bit. They think like what you're doing is fake. And we were talking about that a little bit before the show. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a conservative psyop, all this. But it has been really nice. So I've gotten a lot of like positive responses from conservatives.
Oh, that's
people
good.
on the right too. Like they're kind of coming around and being like, oh, I thought I hated you, and I thought this narrative, this thing about you.
Your rage baits were absolutely. I mean, and they really were absolutely perfect. The way that you would post things and stuff, especially when you were really going for it, trying to upset conservatives. I was like, this chick she knows exactly what to do. And when I saw you hanging out with it was Ashley Sinclair, I think it was the first time.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this real? And then I was like, well, now has the whole thing been a bit? Because I knew that it was rage bait. Like I knew the point of it was that you were trying to get a reaction out of people. But I was like, there's no way that she's that good at it. Has it all been a bit? So how much of it was a bit? Like, I mean, obviously you are a Democrat.
I am.
But you just knew how to get a rise out of people. And
We were talking about this earlier. Like, I am a Democrat, I am a liberal, but I think there's extremes on both sides. And so, sort of trolling, a bit there. But there is an authenticity and genuineness about it too, but just sort of like calling out and trolling extremes and like having fun with it too.
Yeah, when you're like walking down the streets of New York, like strutting your stuff and like, I'm 40 and I'm ready for a baby, but I'm not going to have him because I'm free. Like, that's some good rage bait going on.
It's like I was doing 42 child free.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're also talking about that because you were talking about kids. And I feel strongly about like people should be able to do whatever they want to do. Like I don't think people should, your life is meaningless if you don't have children. And I think those videos, people got so angry.
Yeah, I bet.
Is the chat lighting up right now? Is the chat lighting up?
I don't know.
As a bold lib, what are the issues you care about? Is it abortion? I'm guessing is like top of the list.
For me, like coming from a mental health background, my stuff is very much like humanity. Like, things that affect human lives, quality of life, mental health related, like that kind of stuff. But I do, but women's rights is also important to me.
What about women's lefts?
That too. All of, yes.
Okay.
The rights and the lefts.
Okay. So
What I'm trying to understand, like Democrats, they deal with mental health issues very well. You think, or like what? Is there something in particular?
I'm not sure what you mean. But.
Are you saying that Democrats are mentally challenged? Is that what you're saying?
No, like the Democrat issues that you care about, and you were like, the mental health stuff.
Well, it's not necessarily a Democrat issue. Like that's why I'm more about bringing people together. Like right now, I feel like I'm at least now, like in this phase of like we have more in common and trying to bring people together, and we're all human, and finding that sort of common ground is where I'm at right now. And
Does that mean you don't have like a bleeding hatred for the president, or
right? No,
Okay,
correct. And I would say that's different. Like I would say that that's part of my evolution. I think that we all should hopefully grow and evolve. And I can definitely say, like, I have said some bad thing, that I don't take it back. That's where I was then. And I feel like who I am today is different. And I feel like I'm learning. And that's why I'm here and why I want to like have more conversations and be like open.
So do you feel like you had looking back now, right, to when you were more in the, I guess, liberal bubble?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you were first of all, do you feel like you were in a liberal bubble? And second of all, do you feel like you understand conservatives now, better now after kind of coming out and making light of some of the more progressive ideas and also spending time with conservatives. Did you used to think that conservatives were a different kind of person, or is it something that you kind of like always were like, no, we're all kind of actually just having different opinions and come from different places?
Yeah, I don't. I think that I think that I can see the differences. Like, I feel like I might have lumped people all in, which is not like me. So I'm able to see that more clearly now.
But it's very normal and very human.
Yeah,
So I
for sure.
I
think we have a tendency to want to put people into boxes, right? Which I'm actually very, and I say this now, and it's part of my bio. I'm anti-label and anti-box, so it's more in line with who I am. But yeah, I don't think I realized. Now I have a better understanding, and I think getting to know people and their stories, like, so I do interviews on X and I'm interviewing a lot of conservative people, J6ers, et cetera. And so I would have thought the same thing, right, about that entire group of people. But like hearing their stories, you hear a whole other perspective, and not everyone's situation and where they were at that day is the same.
Right.
So I think that's so important, and that's something I want to do with my podcast is really the storytelling piece and getting to know people's backgrounds so that we don't lump people and just make assumptions.
But I also think like the 90s liberals are in a tough spot. Like the conservative party today versus the liberal party, like go back to the 90s, they're completely inverse. You know what I mean? Like the conservatives in the 90s were very much pro-censorship, like like a lot of, very Christian.
Remember, the PMRC was Al Gore's wife.
Who's that?
The PMRC.
PMRC.
I forget what the acronym meant, but it was looking to censor music.
Oh, okay. The albums, the explicit album, the labels.
Warnings.
Beavis and Butthead, though, I think that was the conservatives, right? Like that was.
They went after Eminem.
Yeah, they went.
No. This is much further back. Al Gore's wife. This is in the 80s. This is when, because the label on offensive records or whatever, that wasn't in the late 90s. That was in the late 80s, early 90s. It was when Dee Snider went before Congress and actually was talking to Congress, and it was Al Gore's wife.
Yeah.
Who was the leader of the PMRC. So I do agree. Republicans and conservatives have that stigma because of the fact that that's where the Christian conservatives were, but it wasn't just Republicans.
Right.
And I, point to Al Gore's wife.
Sure, but the left was seen as the free speech party, the live and let live, the pro, same-sex marriages. Like it was down with the machine, take down the government. Yeah, in the 90s, yeah.
And I think the PMRC
and now
actually
that's
was
the right.
I think
except for the gay marriage part.
I think that the PMRC was actually earlier because like Hook and Mouth by Megadeth references the PMRC, and that was on I think it was So Far So Good So What album. Anyways, either way, it was.
I remember it was a big deal when they put those big labels on.
Mid 80s, but it was a big deal. And that was that was.
And Beavis and Butthead got censored because they were saying fire because some dumb kid burned down his house.
Yeah,
they were saying fire, so they couldn't say fire anymore. And then remember when the movie came out, they said fire like 1,000 times.
And all the people that were looking to censor video games.
Yeah, video games.
Violent
conservatives. So it was.
Yeah, it was largely. I feel like it was largely accredited to conservatives, but I do feel like it was actually more bipartisan than people remember. And I think that's because of the fact that it was oftentimes led by the Christian conservatives. Yes. And that's what people remember is the people that were the Bible thumpers that were saying this is against
book
God.
burning and
going after Marilyn Manson,
Beatles,
going after heavy metal bands. There were the people that were going after Judas Priest because they swore up and down that there were backwards messages in the songs. Judas Priest had to go to court.
But it's just wild. Like that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of 90s liberals are homeless because of that.
Well, I think a lot of 90s liberals are MAGA.
Yeah,
now they are. That's what I'm saying.
True.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
your hat's coming in the mail.
That's why I'm wearing red.
Yeah, it's just perfect. Turned a new leaf.
Yeah.
All right. So
thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.